Hello guys. I am just going to record this tonight. Unfortunately, my internet in my house is doing like really bad. So I'm just going to repost this video. It's unfortunate I can't interact with you guys, but that is absolutely okay. If you guys have questions, feel free to comment below the video and I definitely will inbox you and answer your questions. What I was saying to you guys was thank you for supporting me and coming to my live. I'm here to bring you some great education on taxes and how to properly pace yourself with getting your taxes done, and the tips on the things that you should know when filing your taxes as a stylist that's a booth renter, a makeup artist, a nail technician, and or a barber. There are a lot of things that we just don't know, and I was a victim of the IRS. Unfortunately, I was a victim, but I did come out victorious. Praise the Lord. I just had to figure out what needed to be done, and I want to share this information because I don't want anyone to go through what I went through, because I moved from one state to the next being a military wife. So I moved from New Jersey, and in New Jersey we don't booth rent. It's actually illegal. It's against the law. And I was a commissioned stylist. So when I moved to the South, when I became a booth renter, once I got enough clientele, I became a booth renter in the salon that I was in. And I was just told to apply for a booth renter's license, and I got my booth renter's license. I had an instructor's license because, of course, I taught cosmetology, and I also had just my regular cosmetology license. So with all of that being said, I filed my taxes the first year as a booth renter. Had no idea what I was doing. So the salon I was in, I just asked everyone there that was a booth renter, like, hey, where you guys get your taxes filed? And the owner of the salon, she, told me, where she got her taxes done. So everybody pretty much got their taxes done there. So I got my taxes done at a regular tax office, tax preparer. And basically what happened was the tax office got audited. And I'm talking, this had to be at least almost 4 years later after I had done taxes with them. And they had done 2 years of my taxes. And I decided in the interim of all of that, I opened a salon. So I went from being a booth renter to opening a salon inside of a salon suite. And then I opened my big salon. So with that being said, the first year that my full service salon was open, I got audited. And I was devastated, because I'm just like, I got this letter in the mail and it said that I owed $60,000. And I'm like, how do I owe $60,000? This makes no sense that I should owe anything because I file my taxes every year. And, make a long story short, the people that I went to, they got audited. Not only did they get audited, but I believe most of their clientele got audited. And I believe that the clientele that they had that dealt with a cash business were the ones that got audited, because I also knew several other stylists and barbers who also got audited as well. And just through conversation, I ended up finding out there were some illegal things that were done with that particular tax office. However, nobody got me a large sum of money back. So I felt like, well, I feel like my taxes were done correctly. So anyway, past that, I learned a lot through that process, and it took me a year to get through this audit. And at that time, I had a registered CPA because, again, now at this point, we're talking 3.5, almost 4 years later, I'm in a different realm of my career. So now I have this full service salon where I actually have booth renters and I actually have some commissioned stylists. And I knew just going through salon business classes at that point that I needed a registered CPA. And I had a great coach that coached me along the way in my business. So I was like, all right, cool. Have this registered CPA. So when I got this letter, I called her immediately and said, hey, you know, I got this letter saying I owe $60,000. And she says, all right, well, bring me the letter. You know, don't worry. We'll work this out. We'll get this worked out. So through the process of working it out, there was a lot of information that she had to dig through. So thank God I was a person that always kept my tax records. I had everything together in a nice manila envelope, so where all she had to do was open it and check to see if there was any discrepancies. On top of that, I had, for the current year that she was dealing with me with, of course, I had all of my records of everything, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm talking receipts upon receipts. And one thing I do want to warn you is when you go to a registered CPA, if you take them a box of receipts, they're going to send you back home and have you organize your box of receipts, because that is not what they're going to do. Okay, so you actually have to go through all of your receipts, and I would recommend that you create a spreadsheet and you organize all of your receipts. And so I did have someone help me do that. I kind of already knew beforehand because she already told me. And so when I went to her, she was working on the current year, and then she had to deal with these past 3 years that had absolutely nothing to do with her. And through the process of that, it was amazing because I learned that the government, they don't want to give a small business credit for anything. They don't want to give you credit for your rent. They don't want to give you credit for your light bill. I'm talking of $700, $800, $900 light bills in the salon. They don't want to give you credit for equipment. They don't want to give you credit for nothing. Water bill. I'm talking whatever you can possibly think of. They're going to fight you tooth and nail. But all you need is bank statements. Make sure you have a business banking account, even if you're a booth renter. Do not mix your money, your personal money, and your money that you make in the salon. So if you get in a habit on a daily basis, every time you do every time you are at the end of your day, whatever you've done for the day, deposit it into your business banking account. Everyone should have a business banking account. And what you want to do is make sure that if you're a booth renter, pay your salon that you're working under. You want to make sure you pay them with either a check or a money order. Okay, a check or a money order. Or if you paid them cash, have them to give you a receipt with the amount that you pay them on a weekly basis, monthly basis, bi-weekly basis, however you pay them. Make sure that you have a receipt for that information, because you will need it. Okay, and it's nothing like changing salons, or you decide to go into business for yourself, and then you have to go back to that salon owner and now ask them for these records, because it may be a long period of time before you get that information, because it's not important to everyone at that moment. You know what I mean? So make sure you keep your records of that and log all those receipts in. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of things that we can use now to help us log information. Okay? And then with that being said, I went through this process. It took a year. And by the time I finished, I only owed $3,000. Thank God. I mean, when I tell you I had favor. I was able to prove pretty much everything that I had done within those years as a booth renter. And then within the present year, of course, I already had that information because I knew better. But that present year was not being audited. It was the 3 years prior that was being audited. And so with that being said, because I kept receipts and I kept a good ledger is the only reason why I made it. I mean, my CPA told me straight up, she says, you are the only stylist that has ever come to me correct. I mean, and you got a receipt for everything, even lunch. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn, throughout my business what to do, especially when purchasing items. I mean, even if it's something small. So if I purchase lunch, I have to purchase lunch not just for myself, but I have to purchase lunch for somebody else to consider it a business lunch. Even my clothing that I wore to work, I had to make sure I had my salon engraved on the inside, even if it was a jacket. I had to have some proof that I paid someone to embroider or put my business logo or something on my clothes, even if it was a jacket, even if it was a cape. That's still a part of uniform. So I was thankful that I had been taught these things before opening my full service salon, because I was able to get certain deductions for that, even dry cleaning my clothes, gas, things of that nature. I mean, it was amazing, the stuff that I learned after, the fact of me not knowing anything as a booth renter. And no one taught me nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to research information, especially if you are changing over from being a commission stylist to becoming a booth renter. You need to make sure that you look up the laws, the tax laws in your state, and you know exactly what they're going to be looking for when they're going to be looking at your taxes, so that you won't fall into that, queue of getting audited. And then sometimes audits are just random. You know what I'm saying? Just randomly done. I don't know where they come up with these big numbers, but if you get a letter and it's a big number, like, don't panic. Just know I need to retain a CPA. Even if you've never had a registered CPA, you will have to retain them. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's cheap, because it's not, but I would rather pay somebody that knows what they're doing and that's an expertise in their field in order to help me, versus having anyone just do it, and then you definitely will sign a power of attorney so that they can call and speak on your behalf and handle your business for you. So I never had to talk to the IRS at that time for the audit. My conversations did come with the IRS later on. I'm talking a couple of years later. So I have another testimonial, but it comes a little bit later on. Okay? All right. So the first tip is keep all of your receipts. Make sure you have a business banking account. Make sure that when you are purchasing items for your salon use, you are using a check or you are using a debit card that is for that business account. If you have a major credit card for your business, use that for your business, okay? Don't get caught up not using your accounts correctly, because when they have to dig, they dig. They even dug on mine about, they saw like I had some hotel expenses and things of that, and they questioned. And so my CPA calls me, she says, hey, we have some things in your records we need to like verify. And she read those off, and I said, well, I have to take continuing education classes, and in order for me as an instructor to take mine, sometimes I have to travel outside the area. So it forced me to Myrtle Beach or like Sumter or Orangeburg, and I would have to like spend the night. And I had to spend 2 nights, because with the instructor's license, it was like double the hours that you needed for the CEUs. So, when they dug with all of that, and I'm gonna tell you guys something that I was very surprised. They didn't give me credit. They didn't give me credit. And you know why they didn't give me credit? Because I didn't have anything to say that like at the hotel, when you go take your CEU classes, they asked, did I have a picture, or was there a sign-in sheet that I signed in on? Like, they really tried it with me. And so when I was asked, do you have can we get a sign-in sheet that has your name on it? And I was just like, what? I'm like, no. And I said, I didn't think to take a picture of a sign-in sheet. I didn't think to take a picture of the sign on the wall that says, I'm with this such and such industry group and I'm here taking CEUs. Like, I never thought that would ever be a problem. You know what I'm saying? I said, but I can get a printout from the hotel, and I'm sure they had something to say that this was on their schedule for today. And I did that. I even contacted the group that I took the CEU classes with. They said pretty much all they could do was give me the receipt. You know what I'm saying? So I had the receipt anyway, because I used my account to pay with my my debit card for my classes. So out of everything they could have tried to get me on, that is the only thing they got me for. They would not give me credit for those 3 years of me taking any classes, even if there wasn't a CU class. Like say I wanted to go take a weaving class or a cutting class or whatever. They wouldn't give me credit for any of that. So I lost that $3,000. So now when I go take a class and I sign in on a sign-in sheet, I take a picture. And if they have a sign outside the door where the class is, I take a picture. And I take a picture of the entrance of the hotel. And I take a picture of whatever that group is that I'm taking the classes with. I do a snapshot on the inside to show all the people in the class. I just don't even play. And I take a selfie inside the classroom before the class starts with all the people behind me. Like, it's just that deep. Like, they will never get me on that again because I have to pay for my education in order to even teach. So I was just appalled. I was pissed off. I was mad that they got that from me. So just make sure you guys have those receipts, okay? Also, like I said, create a spreadsheet with all of your receipts. That way your receipts match your bank statements. So you can use either Google Docs or you can use Excel spreadsheet. They're great. They work practically the same way. And you can line everything up in columns and you can break everything down and it works perfectly. Okay, so when you go to your CPA, you should have all your receipts in individual like envelopes. Like say, this envelope is for supplies. This envelope is for rent. This envelope is for light bill. This envelope is for water bill. Separate it so that it's easy for them. And then you just staple all of the envelopes together, and you're able to give them what they need. And with the spreadsheets. So like my spreadsheets, I had my receptionist help me with the spreadsheets, and she was great for that. And it all worked out because everything matched. Everything matched. So her job was really, really easy. You know what I'm saying? A registered CPA versus a regular tax office, I definitely recommend the CPA. You're gonna pay a little bit more in your business taxes, but it's worth it for situations like what I experienced. A regular tax office, unfortunately, like I'm not saying that they can't do your taxes, they can. It's just, I feel the capabilities are a little different. I feel like the way they operate is a little different because a tax office, a lot of them are only open during the tax season. A registered CPA works all year long. They know all the laws. They know all the rules and regulations. They just know a lot. And I'm not discounting your regular tax office at all. But what I am saying is it's smarter to just work with someone, and this is what they do on a daily basis. They're an expertise in their field, okay? All right, then file your taxes yearly. I made a mistake, even after being audited, I made a mistake by not filing my taxes on time. So my reason for doing that, which it was not a smart reason, I was so turned off and I was so just scared off with doing taxes after I got audited. Like I went behind on my taxes. So now, well not now, but at that time, I filed taxes for a particular year and then I had to do back taxes for the year before. And let me tell you something. What was the reason behind me not doing the taxes? It just wasn't smart. And I'm going to tell you, I was in transition in my business and I was moving from one state to the next. I had downsized my salon and, I just kind of let it get away from me. And that's not a good excuse. So you see, like we can let life get us and not really handle all of our responsibilities like we should. And like, we know we have to file our taxes. Like Uncle Sam be waiting on us, because we're a cash business. So when you know better, you have to do better. So I wanted to share with you because I'm not perfect. I mean, I have my issues. I've had my issues with that particular issue. And, I'm over it now. I'm free from it now, but it scared me. It really, really scared me. You know what I'm saying? So when I ended up having to do back taxes, it was a headache. It was a headache. It took me a year to get my tax return from the IRS. So when you owe them money, they snatching. As soon as you file, they're gonna snatch it if you owe them. But if they owe you, it's gonna take you quite some time to get that money, because you gotta go through hell and high water just to prove that they owe you the money. And it could be all in black and white. They can have all the facts in their face. They will find the smallest reason to send you a letter and say, your tax return is on hold because we need you to identify yourself. And it's like, what? What do you mean you need me to identify myself? Well, we need you to call this number and we'll give you more information. So you call the number and they say, oh, yes, ma'am, we need you to come down to the tax office and you have to bring ID to prove who you are. And I said, what do you mean? You guys have my social, you have my business information, like y'all got my address. I mean, what the taxes were filed. I mean, what more do you need? Oh, well, we just have to verify who you are. We need 2 forms of ID. And I had to go down there and take a photo ID, my birth certificate, just to prove who I was. And then, of course, I have kids, so I had to take their social security cards and their birth certificates so that they knew they were my kids that I was claiming. And the thing about it that's so crazy is, like, you know, people play the games. They play the games of claiming other people's kids and stuff like that. So, you know, it sucks when a person like me, who's an honest person, has to go through hell and high water just to get my earned income credit. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? But that's how the IRS works. So I literally, I filed those taxes in February of that year. I didn't receive those taxes until that November. Yeah. Yep. And when I went down there, they was like, we have record that you called like 30 some odd times. I'm like, yeah, I put y'all on my schedule to call you guys to find out like what was really the deal, what was really going on. And nobody could tell me nothing, ma'am. You're in the system. I can't give you a date on when you're going to get your taxes. You know, one time they told me they couldn't even find them. They told me they couldn't find them. I had to resend them all, like fax them, resubmit them, all over again. Then after that, they said that they were missing a year. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I faxed this over. Well, the papers must got stuck together. We're missing a year. I said, when I tell you they will try your nerves, the IRS is a beast. Like, you just don't want to have to deal with these people. And believe me when I tell you, when you call, they don't care nothing about you, your life, your business, nothing. And the people that answer the phone, 50% of them don't know their job. The ones that do know their job, they're going to give you the information that you need, but it's limited information, okay? And then when you have to go sit down in front of them, they're looking at you like, you did something wrong. And I'm just like, but I really didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I've been through the struggle. So I'm warning you guys, never fall behind on your taxes. It's just not worth it. It's not. It really isn't. Okay, so that's my other tip for you guys. File your taxes yearly. All right, and then pay your retail taxes. Pay them quarterly. I never fell behind on my retail taxes. Let's see, how does that work? You actually go down to your city office, wherever you are, and they actually, you know, they have everything right there for you. You go down there. You can bring your retail log with you. I use the system called Vagaro, and it actually kept all the records for me. It was a POS system, so you can actually, when you set your system up, you're gonna put in the state that you're in, and they're gonna tell you that the retail taxes automatically will pop up. So at the end of each quarter, you can actually print yourself out a statement showing your profit and loss statement, and it'll show you your retail, how much you sold in retail, and the amount of taxes that you charge those people for that retail. Okay, so when you go down to your tax office, they have the form. Either you could do it there, or most places now you could do it online. So I ended up just doing it right there. I didn't need a tax person to do it for me, because your retail is real easy. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just following the boxes, And they tell you how much you owe right then and there, and you pay and you go. You don't want to get to the end of the year and file it because you already have your federal taxes that you have to file. You have your state taxes that you have to file. You do not want to get hung up with this extra so-and-so thousands, maybe $1,000 in retail taxes, because that's what mine was, because I sold a lot of retail. You know what I'm saying? So, and you have to be prepared. So what I would do, because I did them quarterly, I would keep an eye on my system. So like every month I would just take a peek and kind of like see where I was. And it kind of gave me in my mind, like, I know I'm going to owe about $400 this quarter. So I would just save. I would just put that money to the side. I would pull out the tax money from my retail and I would put it to the side just for that. So you should definitely have a business savings account. You know what I'm saying? And all of my retail earnings went in my business savings. And then I had an additional business savings that was just for my retail taxes, or taxes period. You know what I'm saying? So that's something you guys may want to do. That will help you. That's a great tip. And like I said, I had a coach that kind of coached me along and helped me when it came to that, because I just didn't know. I just had no idea. So I learned, and these were great tips. So that's why I'm sharing them with you guys. Okay. Keep a copy of your taxes when they're filed. So now everything is more so electronic, but anything can happen. So you always want to make sure that you print out a hard copy for yourself for safekeepings. Okay, a hard copy for safekeepings in case anything ever happens. If you have it on your computer, make sure that you put it in a special file. And each year in that file have other files, and make sure you just date each year and you have it. So if you have to send something electronically, you can. Most of the time when you're dealing with the IRS, you have to mail everything in, and it has to go to a certain place. Everything is designated. So I just want you guys to understand that it's a big deal when you're dealing with the IRS. You know what I'm saying? They really stick people like us that are in a cash business, because a lot of times and I'm just speaking as a whole, I'm not saying you and your business, but a lot of times because we deal in the cash business, we put money in our pocket and keep it going. Somebody comes in the salon and they're soliciting, and we buying this and we're buying that, and we're not even thinking. And you have to be aware of your business, and you have to think, and you have to be in the know, because you don't want to get caught off guard, because it's no joke. It really, really is not. Another thing I do want to bring up is making sure that you understand that Square, whoever you're using, whether it be Square, whether it be PayPal, Samcard, whoever your payments are done through, if you're doing electronic payments, they report your earnings to the IRS. Okay, one thing I can say I like about Square, and I think PayPal does it too. I just kind of started back using PayPal, but I used to just mostly use Square. But they will send you a statement. They will send you an electronic statement. They will send you a hard copy statement and say that this is how much money you made using our system, and they show the deductions as well. And you can always go to your Square dashboard, and you can also print out from your Square dashboard in your account. Okay, so you want to make sure that Square is not your only source as well, because a lot of times people will pay half cash, they'll pay half card, and if you're using a scheduling system or a POS system, if that person paid that way and that's the way you punched it in, it's going to show on your statement. So if you didn't put that cash into your account to show that you did that deposit, you're going to come up short every single time. So a lot of times I hear people say, don't put all your cash, in your account or whatever, because, you're going to end up on a lot. Well, I get it. And the law of the land is the law of the land. It don't have no respect of person. Okay, they're gonna get you one way or the other. So if you start your business off being dishonest, then you're gonna get the repercussions of being dishonest. Eventually, you may get away with it for 5 years, You may get away with it for 10 years. You may get away with it for 20 years. But when they come for you, they coming. And nine times out of 10 when they come, they'll be looking for the 3 years prior. That's what they'll mostly ask you for. But if you become a red flag, they'll go back through all of your business. And you just don't want to be in a situation to where you have to close your business down because of tax fraud, or you don't want to end up going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not worth it. You know what I mean? Especially us salon owners that now we sell hair. You know what I'm saying? And now we're calling our hair this, that, and the third, and we're publicizing on social media, because you know the IRS watches social media. You know what I'm saying? So now you got another business that you're not reporting. So when they come for you, they come in with the facts. So you got to come with your proof, and you have to be honest, because it will come back to bite you, and you don't want to be one of those people that has to shut down their business. It's just not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest. And when you're honest and you keep the laws of the land, you know, you will be blessed. Things will come back to you. You know what I'm saying? So don't take it as like a major loss. And believe me, your registered CPA knows how to get you deductions. Oh, they know. They will. I'm telling you, like gas mileage. I'm talking uniforms, shoes, because I had to wear special like sneakers and stuff like that for my feet. Anytime I traveled and did certain things that was for my business, they gave me credit for, and I didn't even think about, like, when they would ask me some of the questions, I'm like, oh shoot, I never even thought about that. I get a credit for that? Yeah, girl, you get a credit for that. You know, and like I said, keeping good records is what's really going to help you. But I wanted to bring up Square and PayPal. I believe PayPal does the same thing. I can't see them not doing it. They're the most secure anyway that's out there. But I think I ended up finding Square before PayPal, or PayPal before Square. I can't remember which one, but one of them I used more than the other. Okay. All right. So the last tip I want to give you guys, if you get audited and you don't use a registered CPA, you will lose. You will lose. The government is not going to work in your favor in any way, shape, or form. So you cannot represent yourself because you are not an expertise in that particular field. We do what we do, and that's just that. So you need to let someone that knows the business, that knows what they're looking for. There are a lot of different things that in ways they can cut things to make it work for your business. You know, I had to take a huge loss in my business 1 year, you know, and I was like, I'd rather take the loss. I take it. You know what I'm saying? So when they sit you down and they're explaining, and you want to deal with somebody that's explaining things to you, you want to deal with someone that is honest, and you also want to deal with someone that is willing to educate you. That's a huge, huge deal. The lady I had really, really educated me, and she really, really worked with me. And I can never forget the tax person that I'm not tax person, the registered CPA that I used. She was great. Her office was great, and that was the best money I ever spent retaining a registered CPA. I mean, she was great. She fought for me. And like I said, they only got me on this little small $3,000 that they wouldn't give me credits for taking classes, but everything else they gave me the credits for, and they just oughta, because it was due. That's what it was. It was supposed to be. Okay? So I just wanted to let you guys know these things in advance, because it is tax time. A lot of us get scared and we don't file. I've been in that position, and I'm telling you, you don't want to have to do back taxes. It is the worst experience ever. And for me, I had two returns, and like at the time I didn't even realize that I was getting a return. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a little bit of money. You know, one of those returns was like $7,000. One of the other returns was like, I want to say it was like $5,000. So they were not trying to not trying to give me my money. They were not trying to give me my money. And that is just what they do. So don't go behind, don't fall behind, because you don't want to end up in that situation. It's super stressful, and I had to just give it to the Lord. And once I did it, that's when that check came, because I was tripping. I was mad. Okay, so I hope you guys can definitely learn from my experience and you know, everything, all the tips that I gave you guys. Again, I'm so sorry that I could not go live tonight, because I know y'all was gonna have questions for me. I was like so amped and so ready. But you know, I still was gonna get you this information. I was not going to let the enemy win. Not tonight, not tonight. It wasn't happening. So he is defeated. You have this information. You will not get caught up in any traps, and you know how to handle your tax business. Okay, I'm not a licensed tax professional, so everything that I told you came based on my experience. I didn't tell you, I know one thing I didn't tell you was anything wrong. Everything I told you was factual information. And you guys, like I said, if you've been dealing with a regular tax service, you need to reconsider and find yourself a registered CPA. If you know other business owners, ask them, hey, do you have a registered CPA? Can you recommend somebody? Because a lot of times, I'm telling you, small businesses, we stick together when it comes to stuff like that. Yes, I use this person. This is their tax office. This is where they're at. And this is what they do. And then go online and research those people. Go look up under the Better Business Bureau. Find, research. Don't just go to anybody. You know, see, have they ever been, you know, in jail for tax fraud? You know, you want to make sure the people that you're dealing with are honest people and not just go by just anyone's word. You want to research and find the information out for yourself. Okay? All right, so I do want to give you guys a little bit of information. You guys probably have been seeing me post some flyers. There's a great event that is coming up in the Maryland area. I say DMV. I love the DMV area, but it's actually in Maryland. So I want to give you that information so that you guys can pay attention to the posts and things that I'm posting. So the Brand Building Beauty Expo, you can actually go to the brandbuildingbeautyexpo.com, and you can get all the information about all the classes that are going to be at this great expo. I absolutely love it. I was at this expo a couple years ago. I will be teaching at this expo as well, along with some other people that you guys probably have seen me posting on my page. It's going to be phenomenal. We have an award-winning makeup artist that's going to be there. We have a color artist that's going to be there. Cutting. There's going to be hands-on classes. So the hands-on classes range from like $250 to $400. These people are certified. Okay, they're certified experts in their craft and what it is that they do. So there's going to be like a weaving class, cutting class, color class, a couple other different classes. Can't remember all of them, but they're great, phenomenal educators, and you will not be disappointed. So, you know, get yourself together with a girlfriend, somebody in the salon. Y'all go together. Don't just go, you know, we got to get out of the mindset of just going to like Bronner Brothers hair show. I love Bronner Brothers. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted at all. Because when I was in beauty school, that was like, besides the International Hair Show in New York, that was like one of the biggest shows back in the day. So if they have over 30 years of show experience, so I can't take that away from them. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, we got to shift gears in our mindset and continue to educate ourselves all year long, not just one time a year or, you know, just twice a year when the show happens. We want to make sure we educate ourselves all year long. You cannot lose with that. Your business will grow. Your mindset will change and grow. I'm going to be there. You already know I'm bringing the Retail Boss scheme to Maryland. Okay? That's my life. That's what I'm about. That's it. That's me. That's my brand. That's what I teach. That's what I do. Do I teach other things? Yes, I do. You guys know me from being a weave expert. You guys know me from being with Influence. You guys know me from being with Paul Mitchell. So yeah, I have other areas as well that I'm great in. But my area of expertise, what I branded myself, is the retail game. So I'm bringing Retail Boston to the Maryland area. So this show is going to be held March 18th through the 19th in Silver Springs, Maryland, at the Civic Center. That's where it's going to be held, okay? There are some group pricing that's also available. There's a student pricing and instructor pricing that's also available. So you have no excuses. You can get a pass also versus paying day by day. You can get the pass that gives you both days. And the group rates are, you can go on the website and you can ask questions about the group rates if you are like maybe a beauty school, or if you have a salon and you want to take your whole salon. The student rate is $45 and the 1 day pass is $75. Okay, so you can do the 2 day pass. The information is also online. Please go to the website and check it out. The hands-on classes, like I said, range between $250 and $400. Okay, that is a steal. And I'm going to say it again, that is a steal, because I have paid $1,500 for cutting classes, okay? I have paid my price to be in this industry, and it's because I'm passionate about it. I love what I do. I would not do anything else in the world, okay, than being a cosmetologist or being a cosmetology educator. I absolutely love it. So if you love what you do, and you're passionate about what you do, your education should never stop. $1 should never stop, okay? $1 should never stop you from going and getting education. A lot of times what we do, and I'm going to be 100, we'll see somebody post something about a class, we'll look at the price and we'll say, dang, I really wish I could go take that class, but I can't afford it. Well, anything that you say out your mouth, that's what it's going to be. So if you say you can't afford it, you won't afford it. But if you change what you say, and you change your belief system, I promise you, you will have what you say, okay? So, I mean, I've been in situations, emergency situations. I told y'all about my tooth. I broke my tooth over the Thanksgiving holiday, and, you know, dude, I needed this money. And when they told me how much it cost, I said, okay, I got to pay this balance. I will get back to you before the end of the week because I'll have it. And that's what happened. I had it because you know why? Instantly, like that, I triggered my brain. I triggered my thinking and my belief system to say, I will have what I say. So anything that I want in this world, I'm going to have it. Like, I know I'm going to drive a Bentley soon, within the next year. I know I'm going to make 6 figures with my retail bossing, just like I made 6 figures being a hairstylist. There's nothing you cannot do, and there's nothing you cannot accomplish unless you tell yourself that. If you believe you can't accomplish it, you won't. If you believe you're not going to have the money, you won't. It might not be manifested in your hand today, but if you open your mouth and you say the right things, you say, you know what? I want to go to these classes. I need this education, and I'm going to have that money. And every single day when you get up, you tell yourself in the mirror, self, you're going to get that money. You're going to find a way to get to these classes. And you pray and you ask the Lord to help you. Listen, God, I need you to help me out. I need this education. Lord, tell me what to do. I will do it. You know what I'm saying? And then get you some word and apply the scriptures to what it is that you're saying. And you know, I'm only going to tell you this because I'm a believer of the Christ. That's just what I believe. And that's just who I am. And I can't change me. Only thing I can tell you is that God always works things out for me because it's based off of my belief system. And I believe everything that I believe and everything I put my hands to is anointed and it turns to gold. And that's what you say with that money. You put your hands on it. You say money, you're going to multiply. I call them clients from everywhere. North, south, east, west. My phone's going to blow up this week with clientele. God, I believe what your word says, that if I say and I ask you in your name, it shall be done. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? You go to the Lord with the answer. You don't go to him with the problem. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, God, I need this money. And your word says, if I ask you for it, I'm your child. You gonna make it happen for me. So I believe and I receive. I decree and I declare that I'm going to have this money to go to this beauty expo in March. And that's it. And I leave it at your feet. It's your job to take care of it now, God. It's no longer mine. It doesn't belong to me. So that's where we have to be in every area of your life, not just in business. You know what I'm saying? But to have a business meeting with the Lord, that's mom right there. I'll take it all day long. I absolutely love it. Have a business meeting with God. You don't know what to do. You have nobody to talk to. You feel like I can't trust anyone. Well, you know what? Talk to the Lord. And the more you talk to him, he'll reveal to you what it is you need to do in your business. You understand? That's just what it is. And that's the word. So I love you guys. Thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions, like I said, you can drop comments below, or you can definitely go into my messenger and send me messages if you need some more help or you need some direction, if I can point you in the right direction. And or you can email me at SakinaCurtis@gmail.com. And I will get back to you. I definitely will. Okay. So thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. And my next live, I hope I don't have any connection issues. And I will see you guys next time around. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you soon.